In this series of videos, we've been discussing the need for self-regulation, which is managing one's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in the pursuit of one's own goals. We've explored specific techniques for co-regulation, the supportive process between caring adults and youth that fosters self-regulation. To address these needs, many schools across the Commonwealth have added calming corners or de-escalation spaces to their classrooms and schools. This is a way to teach and prompt, reinforce the use of self-regulation strategies. This is a great first step, so let's talk about 3 specific ways to improve these spaces. The first tip to level up your break space or calming corner is to add visuals. We know when the fight or flight part of our brain is activated, this hinders our ability to use and receive language and to understand, store, and recall information. Regardless of grade level, some students may benefit from visuals that will guide them in the steps to follow once they're in the calming space. Perhaps we could include a visual timer, for example, to set a designated amount of time that a student can remain in the calming space. Some educators have found it helpful to have a list or visuals of the previously agreed upon calming strategies that the student has been explicitly taught, such as the 5 senses grounding technique or a particular breathing technique. The second way to improve the use of a calming or de-escalation space is through data collection. When we monitor the frequency and time of day that a student requests a break, we collect actionable data. We may learn that there are certain content areas, teachers, or times of day that are especially triggering for a student. Some students may even benefit from self-monitoring. By collecting data from our interventions, such as the use of a break space, we can identify patterns in a student's behavior. This allows us to build replacement behaviors and eventually form competing behavior pathways. A third tip for improving break spaces is to add more structure. Some educators worry that a student will take advantage of a calming space and go too frequently, and perhaps some students will. That doesn't mean we should pitch the idea. Instead, we add structure. So for example, we could provide a student with a particular number of break cards per day or per week, and over time, reduce the number of these break cards given to a student. This provides some ownership or agency for the student to choose when to go, but also some accountability from the educator for them to not overuse the strategy. And look, I know some educators may feel like break spaces should not be necessary in the school environment, like they're too granola or crunchy. But there are times that our kids need us to provide grace, kindness, patience, even when it feels like they don't deserve it. A great quote to consider here is, "Grace never seems fair until you are in need of it." Co-regulation and following an I do, we do, you do approach to these self-regulation skills involves the adult modeling, guiding, prompting, reinforcing the use of these skills. Remember, the goal is to build the life skill of self-regulation while also preventing big student behaviors in the classroom. If you're interested in learning more tips for improving your calming spaces, be sure and check out our next video.